Hey everybody, welcome back to Conscientious Omnivore. My name is Pal. I'm going to be doing a hopefully pretty quick live stream tonight, and just wanted to kind of check in with people. I know I haven't put up a video in a while. I've just been really busy. Everything's okay. I'm fine. Not really too much going on that's scary, and the title is a little bit meant to kind of hopefully set your mind at ease. There's a lot of bad news going around in the world right now. And yeah, I mean, it is kind of scary stuff, but at the same time, I also think, hey, Perpetually Annoyed, welcome. I think also that a little bit, there's kind of this element of panic that's already kind of set in with a lot of people, and I think that is a kind of, a mistake in a sense, and that's what I want to talk about today. And really just give some thoughts about what we worry about and kind of risk assessment and all this kind of stuff. So I just thought I would share some interesting information, give my 2 cents, and see how you guys are all doing, and also to, like I say, just let everybody know that we're fine. My family's okay. None of us have come down with anything. Everything's cool. Here in Hungary, they've closed down schools now as of yesterday, so the kids are at home. We're not really going anywhere. Everybody's, kind of done all the panic shopping, hopefully, and we have enough food and everything to, last us at least a few weeks, I would say, pretty comfortably. So we should be okay. We'll see what happens, and yeah, let's get this started. I'm going to show my screen here for you guys. Oh, I may have already switched to the browser view. Okay, so you guys already see my screen. Sorry, I kind of meant that as a surprise. So I have this interesting article. It's the things most likely to kill you in one infographic. It's basically an interesting article that I came across quite a while ago, actually. And it's not a new chart. It's from 2015. But I came across this quite a while back, and it was just a very interesting thing. This was put together from information from the UK's National Health Service. So the NHS looked at all these kinds of things from, all the leading causes of death, and they kind of put it into this handy-dandy little infographic. So it actually shows you what your chances of actually getting one of these things to happen to you, which will actually kill you, and the size of the circle actually represents the chance. So you can see that in the really small chances, you have things like war, pregnancy and birth, medical complications, murder, undetermined events, mental health disorders, transport accidents, and so on and so forth, and you go up. Hey Michael, welcome. And basically what you can see is that the leading cause of death in the UK, and bear in mind, they also point out in this article that this is similar for the U.S., and I would wager that it's actually very similar for most, Western or highly developed countries, because everybody's kind of doing the same things. But the data here is specific to the UK, but like I say, they do say it's very similar for the U.S. You can see that heart disease and circulatory disorders is the biggest circle. You have cancer next, you have respiratory disorders, and then after that it goes down, to nervous system, digestive disorders, kidney disorders, infections, non-transport accidents, diabetes, etc., and all the way down. Even suicide is bigger than, war and, murder, but yet, when you ask people what they're afraid of, they're rarely going to give you this kind of a layout of what they are actually afraid of. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about in this stream, is that there's a lot of stuff going around now. Everybody's afraid. The pandemic is kind of all over the place, and in every country now there's cases being reported. Everybody's kind of afraid, and it's certainly terrible. It's really scary, etc., etc. But the thing is that you have to look at the numbers, and basically all I'm trying to say is that I don't think we're panicking about the right things. I've done a video a long time ago on my channel. It was one of the first videos I did. I did kind of my own mini version of the Dr. Greger's, leading causes of death style presentation, except I kind of picked and chose a few kind of things that I also wanted to add in there, and I did, a few other things. But basically, if you look at that and you look at the data, from the World Health Organization, from the various, reporting agencies from various countries, you'll see that the leading cause of death worldwide by far is heart disease. And basically, that kills over 8 million people, if I remember the stat right, every year. So when you look at something like that, it really puts it into perspective that, these pandemics that we're facing right now, they are scary. They're terrible. It will kill more people, I'm sure, before it's, kind of brought under control. And it's really terrible, and my heart goes out to everybody. And I just hope and I guess just we're going to try to do everything we can to not, get infected and whatever. And, I feel terrible for anybody who's affected by it already. But in the grand scheme of things, the amount of media coverage that something like this gets, compare that to, headlines about heart disease or cancer or anything like that. It's a fraction of what gets covered in the media. And, this is kind of the thing that I really want to hammer home here with this infographic. They have another one. They also say, what are the top risks contributing to these leading causes of death? And you can see pretty high on the list. They're all, kind of health related. High blood pressure, smoking, high cholesterol, obesity, low fruits and vegetables. Look at how big of a risk factor that is. Obviously, physical activity, okay, fine. Alcohol, infections, non-transport accidents, transport accidents, drug use, murder, medical complications, pregnancy, so it's like, okay, those kind of are in line with the actual causes of death, but all these other things, these are things within your control. So it's like the thing that is the most likely to kill you are things that you have direct control over to a pretty great degree. And it's becoming more and more apparent every day when you see things about eating fruits and vegetables, the antioxidants, the vitamins, the minerals, everything that comes from a whole food plant-based diet that is protective against these diseases and has been shown to reverse heart disease, the leading killer, the number one killer of all people worldwide is a whole food plant-based diet. That's the only diet that's ever been shown to reverse heart disease. And people are worried about other things, as it's normal. I'm worried about it too. I'm not trying to, make slight of it or anything like that. But what I am saying is that the amount of time that people spend worrying about these things that are kind of scary versus what they should be concentrated on and what they actually have absolute control over by changing their diet and eating more fruits and vegetables, it's just disproportionate. People just worry about the wrong things. And that's why I titled the stream what I did. And this really just sums it up. It says the main idea is to visually show that our fears are often misplaced and that most of us should worry about more about quitting smoking and eating more vegetables than dying in a murder or a freak accident. And I would just add, or dying from some crazy pandemic virus that is, happening in the world right now. So I just think hopefully that's a little bit reassuring for people. And also, if you're watching this and you're not, really already eating like a pretty healthy diet, I would definitely encourage you to look into the benefits of eating a whole food plant-based diet, because it addresses, the biggest causes of death for you. And those are things that you have direct control over. All the scary stuff here at the bottom of this, the things that don't even have as big of a chance of happening to you and killing you, those are things that you don't have control over. You don't have control over war and, murder and, some of these other things, car accidents or whatever. But you do have control over what you put in your mouth 3 times a day. And that's kind of the main point that I wanted to share with you guys. So I'll put the link for this afterward in the in the description or in the comments. and feel free to look at it. They have a link to the NHS website where you can go and tailor the this atlas of risk to your particular sex and age group, and then you can see what the leading causes of death for your particular age group are if you're curious. But this is a averaged infographic based on all the research that they've had access to. And right here it says the leading causes of death and preventable death are similar in the US. So for anybody who's watching this from the US, like, these numbers are going to be very similar. And the only other thing that I kind of want to mention is that humans are notoriously bad at assessing risk. You guys should check out some of these things. Look at some of the books that I've talked about in the past. The Black Swan by Nassim Taleb, I think, is a really excellent book. It talks a lot about cognitive biases that humans have that makes us really bad at assessing risk, and oftentimes focusing on the wrong thing instead of looking at the thing that's actually most likely to do us harm. We worry about the wrong thing. So here they start the article by saying, it's why someone lights up another cigarette while worrying about getting killed by a terrorist, and why so many of us calmly drive to work every day but feel nervous getting on a plane. It's like, if you actually look, planes are statistically much more safe than cars. So anyway, that's pretty much what I had to cover. I'm going to actually switch back the camera here and take a look at the comments. I see a bunch of people have come in now. Welcome, everybody. Race asks me, what am I afraid of? Oh man, I would say that I'm not too afraid of too many things. I try to be prepared for things, and I worry about some things, but there's a saying in Hungarian that says jobb félni, mint megijedni. It means, like, it's better to be afraid than to be, I guess, like, scared or surprised, I think is the way I would translate it. So I think, like, worrying about some stuff instead of being surprised by it. I think that's kind of the way that I try to look at things. But I also really, really try hard in my life to not worry about things that I can't control. So, the spread of this virus going on in the world right now, I can't control that. I can control what I do and what my family does. So, like, we don't go out if we don't have to right now, and all this kind of stuff. So we're doing what we can to limit our exposure to it. But I don't lay awake at night thinking, like, oh, I wonder what'll happen if I don't really care. I mean, like, I can't do anything about it, so I try to not worry about that. Like I say, can worry about what I can do, like, as far as feeding my family a healthy diet and taking care of ourselves, and I try to exercise, I go running, etc., etc. Those are the things that I worry about and that I do take action on, because those are the things that I know I have control over. Everything else I don't really worry about. Hey Graham, welcome. Everyone knows that a protein deficiency due to a vegan diet is the one thing most likely to kill you. Yeah. You would believe that if you read so many of these articles that people put out. Race only fears one thing. What do you fear? Midget ninjas. Wow. Okay, see, I didn't think about that, but that could be very scary. I've been watching a lot of Lego Ninjago cartoons with my kids the past few days. It's been really fun. So I could see the midget ninjas being very scary. Star Elliot, welcome. Depends on your health, though, and a lot of people are unhealthy. That this virus is spreading faster than people are actually aware. We do need to take it seriously. Absolutely, I don't mean to slight it, so hopefully that was clear. I don't know when you wrote that versus when I said that, but I'm in no way trying to make slight of the virus, and absolutely it should be taken serious. And I think if anybody can stay at home or work from home or just try to limit your exposure to it, you absolutely should. I'm not in the slightest trying to say go on about your business as usual, because I don't think that's smart. If you have control over something that you can mitigate your risk, you absolutely should. I'm not suggesting otherwise. Terry, welcome. Simple solution, stop touching the animals. Well, yep, that's the other thing, that so many of these viruses come from animal exploitation, from the animal agriculture industries, and people do need to leave the animals alone, and we would have fewer of these crazy outbreaks. Race, also citation needed for your video title. Okay. Well, I guess it was trying to be dramatic, but I figured nobody should be at work anyway. People should be able to come on and have a few minutes of fun. Let's see. Perpetually annoyed. Hi. Okay. I'll pet animals if I want to. Yeah, I don't think the problem is petting the animals. That's not the problem. Okay. I'm off on a tangent, way behind on chat. I am. Sorry, Race. I was trying to get through the point here. Let's see. Race. They should be concentrated on gangs of midget ninjas. Star Elliott, you have a point. People do need to get healthy and eat more fruits and veggies. Yep. People need to change their lifestyle to a plant-based diet. Absolutely. Terry says, if I get it, I feel like I'll definitely die. There's a lot of people that feel that way. And if you have underlying health issues, this is really scary. I mean, like, I know people kind of in the extended family that they have history of bronchitis, lung kind of issues. They frequently are susceptible to getting, infections, or, they've had pneumonia in the past, or whatever. I mean, those kind of people are, especially if they're elderly already, or they have, underlying health problems to begin with. Like, this is very serious. That's why I'm saying, like, if you can limit your exposure, by all means, you absolutely should. So, the point of this wasn't to say, worry about heart disease, don't worry about this. That's not what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I'm not leaving the house for the next 3 months. I don't blame you, Terry. Honestly, like, right now, I think we're stocked pretty well. Like, my wife and I are pretty always well stocked, I would say, just as a general rule. Like, we always have at least, I don't know, 2-3 weeks worth of food at home, if you count all the, like, dried goods and, beans and rice and all this kind of stuff. I'm definitely stocked above that now, so I think we could comfortably be here for a month, no problem, and even longer, but that wouldn't be comfortable at that point. And then we're going to try to stay at home as much as we can. Race, my immune system laughs at viruses. Well, I mean, good. Hopefully a lot of people that are kind of in good condition, they will hopefully just have a minor case of this or not get it at all. Nikki, hey, welcome. Vegan Zombie says that the only foods left in his local stores were plant-based vegan options. Yeah, there's a lot of that being posted on Twitter lately, although it was being posted as kind of like a mocking thing from carnivore people, so it was like really weird. I didn't really understand what their thinking behind that was. I think, here in Hungary, what I've seen is people are buying the dried goods that last a long time. So people are buying, like, pasta, dried pasta, rice, flour. Couple of stores that I went to earlier this week, they had no flour left, no sugar left. It was, like, really odd, like, that people would be buying, like, sugar by the caseloads. It's like, I think I would get kind of crazy. I would rather just be eating rice than sugar. Like, I don't know. It just seems kind of crazy. Party at Terry's house, yeah. Michael says, what was the outbreak in 2009, swine or avian flu? Honestly, there have been so many of these, I can't even remember, Michael, because there was the MERS, there was the SARS, and that's the avian flu, I think, and then previous to that was the swine flu, I think. So I'm not even sure which years they were at this point, because there's been so many. I think the MERS one was the more recent one, the MERS one. And then the SARS one was the one right before that, I think. I don't know. It's just kind of hard to keep track of these. Ara, hey, welcome. Okay. Oddly, no one wants to think about the animal origins of zoonotic diseases. Yeah, it's really sad. A lot of people just don't realize how many of these things come from animal agriculture. And I think if they did, and if the news stories that are, kind of scaring people and causing these mini panics, if they actually focused on the causes of some of these things, and they talked about the stuff that, like, Earthling Ed covered in his excellent video, if anybody hasn't seen that, I would definitely recommend that, the one that he did about this virus. And he really kind of put it in perspective and said, look at the number of people dying from antibiotic-resistant infections already. It far, far outpaces the number of people that have been killed by this virus. And yet that doesn't get media coverage. Because, again, if you covered that, you would really have to address the fact that the vast majority, so, 90% and up, of the world's antibiotics are used by the animal agriculture industry. And if you didn't cover that, you would just kind of look stupid. And I think that's why it's not really being pushed in the mainstream media. Star Elliott says, I've been vegan, whole foods, plant-based for 8 years. I'm healthy and happy. I don't drink or smoke or do drugs. I don't fear much. I think it's important to be prepared. Stress can kill you too. Absolutely. I would absolutely agree with you there, Elliot. I think worrying about things that you literally can't control, I think that just does nothing good for you. That just, that just causes stress, like you say. And stress is a killer too. I mean, if you're constantly just worried about everything, that cortisol hormone and all these other kind of stress hormones that go through your body, sometimes adrenaline or other things, if you're chronically in a state of stress, like that absolutely can damage you and weaken your immune system and lead to bad things. So I think just worry about the things that you can actually do something about, and then do something about them so that you don't have to worry about them. I mean, I think that's the best advice that I have for anybody. Race, best to send out at least the least favorite family member if you need anything. Oh man. Terrifying. Regular ninjas are hard enough to spot. Yeah, the midget ones, I can only imagine. Herbivore, good advice, Race. Do you get sent out? You volunteers. Oh man, you guys are too funny. Terry says, over 70 are being quarantined for the next 12 weeks. Whew, man, that must be rough too. See, that has a cost as well. Like mentally, that must be really draining to be home all the time. Especially if you're like living in a city or an apartment where you don't even have like fresh air really. If you're just stuck in an apartment, I think that could be really, really hard. I mean, I live outside of the city, so we have a yard and everything, and if there is a lockdown and we're told that we just can't leave home, like we could still play out in the yard. So I mean, for us, it's really not that scary or that bad. But I just feel so bad for anybody who's like, maybe like especially if they're elderly, if they're living alone. I mean, this could be a really scary, trying time, and I think that's why everybody should do their part to try to limit the exposure. Because even if you're young and healthy, and you might get this and be kind of quote unquote fine, you could be spreading it to other people. So, you should absolutely try your best to limit your own exposure, and also so that if you do get it, you're not the one taxing the medical system and the hospitals and everything else. Like you just don't want that. There's some scary stuff, news-wise coming out of like Italy and other places that doctors are having to make a choice of who they're going to save, who they're going to put on a respirator, and who they're going to say, well, sorry, we don't have enough machines, and the person, takes their chances with whatever they got. Terry says there's no pasta left in my town. Yeah, I think some of it, though, is just like panic shopping, because here in Hungary, I've seen it too, where like you'll go into the store one day and it's just like the shelf is like stripped clean, but then you go back like 2 days later and it's completely restocked. A lot of people have said that it's just people just going in and not just buying like a handful or a couple of items of something. They're buying like excessive amounts that like you probably wouldn't even be able to eat in like 2 months. And then what happens is people just literally can't stock the shelves back fast enough. But if you just go back a couple days later, they already have the items. I think it's just a matter of getting it from the warehouse out onto the shelves. So hopefully that's the case in your area too, Terry. I don't know, yeah, I don't know. I mean, hopefully it's not that. Incognito Dennis, welcome. 2009 was the swine flu. Okay, yeah. See, I wasn't sure, but I thought that was one of the older ones. Nikki, I have been giving up on anything addictive for the last couple of years, something I'm very glad of now. Yeah, imagine if you had like a smoking addiction, right? And like, you're like risking like going out to the store to buy more cigarettes or something. Like it's crazy. And that is a very real scenario, I'm sure, for a lot of people. Like people are going to be hoarding stuff. Like if, you need things, it's kind of scary that like you would maybe risk getting infected with something like this, like just so you could go out and get cigarettes or booze or something like that. It's kind of crazy. I saw a lot of people buying a lot of alcohol in the last couple times that I've gone shopping, and that always kind of never ceases to amaze me as well, that people in kind of serious like situations, like they would just like be sitting at home like drinking alone or something. Like I don't know, it kind of scares me, like, to think that. But I don't know. I guess people figure if they're home alone, then may as well block things out or something. I don't know. But yeah, kudos to you for giving up that stuff, Nikki. It's good. Terry, if I survive this, I'm moving out of the city. Yeah, I don't blame you. I've actually been kind of thinking a lot the past, few weeks, really, about doing a video kind of on this topic in general of like preparedness and I guess just kind of like where my own thoughts on this have changed. I think I'm gonna actually become more prepared for stuff like this. Like, I didn't like the fact that I did have to go out shopping multiple times over the past week to really kind of shore up my stock of food. I think I would have been a lot happier if I just knew, like, okay, I always have like a month's worth of food in my pantry, dried goods, canned, whatever, stuff that I've put away, canned or jarred food, because I think just I don't think this is going to go away. Like, I think there's a lot of these kind of like epidemics and pandemics that are going to be coming about in the coming years because of all the things that people are doing, because of the use of antibiotics, because of all these other problems, and because of the global nature of the world now. I mean, everything is so interconnected, and we see that governments are pretty slow to act. Like, they're not looking at the best interests of people. They're looking at impact to the economy and businesses, and I think that's really frustrating. And they're kind of slow to close borders, stop flights, do all this kind of stuff. I mentioned the Black Swan earlier, but the author of that, Nassim Taleb, had a really interesting study that I think he co-wrote with a few other people. It was posted on Twitter a while back, and it talked about the risks of this epidemic, and really just kind of talks about just the next kind of serious epidemic, because thankfully this one isn't as lethal as some of the other things that have spread in the past few years, including MERS, or whatever it was called, MERS. That one had a much higher fatality rate, so I think that was something like 10 times or close to 10 times as fatal as this one. And it was just luckily spread a lot less than this one. So I think being prepared and having kind of things like at home that you can kind of just bunker down and all this kind of stuff, I think is a lot easier to do in a non-urban area. So I think if you have a house, if you have a basement, if you have like a big yard where you can grow a lot of your own food, or maybe just have like a earthen cellar or something like that, like, it really allows you to be a lot more prepared. And like I say, I'll probably do a video kind of on some of these thoughts and ideas at some point. But I think living in the city, man, it's like it can get ugly really fast if things really go badly. So I think, like, imagine like how scary a situation like this would be if you, for example, like something happened to the water supply in a city. Like, if you're in a house, like, you could maybe catch rainwater off your roof, something like that. Like, maybe you have a well, maybe you have some outside water supply that you can use, but you can always boil water and whatever. But if you have no water and you're in an apartment, like, that's kind of scary. Like, I don't know. So there's just things like that I think it's just something to think about. And yeah, I don't blame you for wanting to get out of the city. Graham says, on Sky News they have been showing how if you have a lockdown, you're delaying a spike because people aren't being exposed. Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of indication that it would be helpful to have things locked down much earlier. Incognito Dennis lives far away from the city already. Yeah, I mean, you're better off, I think. Perpetually noted, people are panicking. Yeah, some people are, definitely. Terry says, I'm going to make sure I look smart if I get sick. That way they're more likely to choose me to live. Oh my god. I mean, I hope it never comes to that. And I hope you just don't get sick. So, good luck. People panicking is the real danger. Yeah, I mean, and that's why, I've also kind of tried to say that, we should keep our perspective, and, um, I don't know. I mean, I think, like, just to some extent, yes, people are panicking, but to another extent, I would say the other side of the coin is that I think governments are slow to actually initiate the changes that they should to actually save more people, because they don't want to lose money and they don't want to impact the economy. Professionally, it tells Terry to wear glasses. Oh man, you need to look young, not smart, Terry. Jeez. The advice keeps coming. Apparently the UK has nothing stockpiled. We get everything on next day delivery from the mainland. Important to have alcohol. Hey Leon, welcome. Yeah. Oh man. Okay, I have to deduct 1 point from Leon's score because he put race lever last in the greetings. Oh man. Nice. Okay, you guys are funny. Yeah, the economy is definitely going to be impacted, Terry. I would agree with that. I mean, my brother and I were just talking about this the other day. If you think about, like, you're going to have huge impact from a production standpoint. So you already look at countries like China, Germany. They're really kind of like the leading producers in the world. Like, I know there's, the spread of the disease has been really kind of ramping up in Japan as well. Like, these are countries that manufacture tons and tons of stuff. And if you just look at China alone, like, it's been, in lockdown, or large parts of it have been for so long. And it doesn't seem like, it's getting any better here in Europe. Like, it's probably going to get a lot worse before it starts getting better. There's definitely going to be a huge impact. And, even in a country like Hungary, like, there's already, a pretty good number of people that are being told to stay home if they can, and what have you. If there is a lockdown, I'm sure that there will be some people that just simply can't do their job from home. Not everybody is working at a computer and can do their job from a remote location. So there will definitely be an economic impact. And then the other thing is that you have schools closed. So there's a lot of people where, like, they don't have grandma or grandpa that can take care of the kids. Plus, they've been telling people, like, don't take care of the grandkids, because if you're old, you might be more susceptible to getting a serious case of this. So, yeah, I mean, it's like, parents are staying home. If they're having to maybe take unpaid leave or vacation days or sick days or whatever to stay at home with their kids for who knows how many weeks in a row, those people aren't going to be going on summer vacation, even if this thing, blows over in the next couple months. Like, that's going to have a further, economic impact. There's definitely a lot to consider, and I can appreciate that it's difficult for governments to do this, but I really think, like, if it's obvious that, they're going to save lives by telling people to shut down and stop and stay at home, then I think they should, and, damn be the economic consequences. But, yeah, there's definitely going to be impact from this. Yeah, okay. So, yep, guys, that's pretty much it for the stream. Like, I really just wanted to cover that article and give people some perspective or some other things to think about, especially if you're not vegan and you're watching this. I think, really just look into the health benefits of a whole food plant-based diet. Try to focus on the things that you actually have control over. That's my takeaway message. Don't stress about things you can't do anything about. As far as this virus in particular, yeah, I mean, all the typical advice that people have given, I think that is, good advice. Wash your hands. Don't meet up with people unnecessarily if you don't have to. Don't go out if you don't have to, et cetera, et cetera. I think that's just good advice, and yeah, let's hopefully, see you guys in a few weeks when this has hopefully, blown over, and we'll see what's what. I'm gonna have a few more videos coming up. I got a few things kind of in the works. Just have to edit some stuff together. Doing some work in the garden, trying to catch up on a lot of other things that I have kind of, cooking in the back burner and stuff. So yeah, we'll see, but everything's good here. I got no complaints, no problems, and hope everybody's good. Stay safe. Yeah, take care of yourselves, and be excellent to each other, as they say in the Bill and Ted's movie. What have you guys got? Oh, I got a lot of comments. Daniel says, I know something you don't know. What is it? We already know Pal isn't wearing any pants right now. I think you meant to say any pants. I am wearing pants, but I'm wearing my pajama pants because I'm going to bed soon. But I am wearing my cool Seitan t-shirt. Buy this if you guys like it. I have a link for it in the description of the video. Daniel says, well, there's two things I've been thinking about. Okay. One is how the shifts in in heat will affect viruses. Okay. I think people are saying in the summertime it should be less likely to infect people and spread, so maybe that'll be good. Conscientious has been saying that the possible best method is short lockdown followed by relaxing that and repeating that many times. You're welcome, Leon. Thanks for being on. Happy to do it. Daniel says, as well as vaping and viruses. Yeah, never touch your face again. Yeah, that is a pretty key thing, is that if you're out and about during the day, don't be touching your eyes, your nose, your mouth. Yeah. Race wants to French kiss everyone. Herbivore, the theory is that the peaks are smaller and the pressure on the healthcare system lower. Yep, I would imagine that. Okay. Don't go, Nikki says. Okay, I'm not going yet. Is that vaping kills viruses in the air? What, like vaping, like from the cigarettes and stuff? Race says pajamas aren't pants. Well, maybe not. Aura says, I have to travel home in a few days because my school is closing housing. Yep. Take care. I think there's a lot of kind of benefit of just getting home and just staying home if you can. So, but be careful and take care of yourself. Daniel says propylene glycol. Isn't that like an additive in food as well, I think? Or is that the stuff in the vaping thing? I think that's an additive for food as well. Anyway, I seem to remember that. Terry, I just wish I had more hand sanitizer. I've got about 3 squirts left. I think soapy water is supposed to work just as good, so just make sure your hands are actually clean. I don't know if it's any good or not, but honestly, it's probably as good as any kind of like alcohol-based hand sanitizer is like just like white vinegar, like strong, like 20% vinegar, probably works as well. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but I mean it burns just pretty much the same as the alcohol-based ones. I don't know. I think just washing your hands with soap and water regularly and not touching your face and stuff after you've been out without washing your hands first is a good protection. No, like as the global average grows like 0.5% of a degree, it's going to have an effect, and I found some data on it, but I can't share links here. Put it in the comments after, Daniel, and then I'll check it out. That sounds interesting. But is it saying that it's going to get better or worse? Like we're going to have more virus outbreaks because it's warming? Is that what it's saying, or is it going to be less? Okay, if you're ready I'm already in my pajamas. Remember, we are all going to be in need of entertainment. I'll try to stream more often, Nikki, but not always in my pajamas. Leon, someone in Bolsonaro's government was infected with corona, and he's Brazilian. He probably got it somewhere else, though. Well, I think he got it himself, I think. I'm pretty sure I saw a tweet about that. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I think he got it. Yeah, if there's an outbreak in Brazil, heat is not stopping the virus. Well, yeah, I don't think it's foolproof. It's just that in general, I think like people, when it's summertime, you're less susceptible to getting infected by any kind of virus. I think that's the idea behind it, but I don't know. The leading ingredient in vape juice is propylene glycol. Aerosolized propylene glycol kills the flu. I didn't know that. If you have any info on that, put it in the comments too after, Daniel. I'll check that out. It's an additive in ferrum stuff, food, toothpaste. Yeah, I thought it was. Anyway, they're out PG in everything. Oh, they put PG in everything. Probably. It's an industry air filtration system for all public places. There are also cases of people getting infected again after having recovered. Oh, I had not heard that, though. That's interesting, Leon. I mean, I think just based on what we have seen with these kind of viruses, they could easily mutate as well. So I think that's kind of the scary thing, is that people can get the illness, and then maybe next year, like, it'll be just like the flu season upon us, and then this will come back. Hopefully in smaller numbers, but I'm sure it will be possible to get reinfected, I would imagine, just like any other kind of flu or cold virus. Like, we haven't been able to completely get rid of those things. They're kind of with us once they're there. Okay, yeah, Daniel says more viruses, yeah, because of the general increase. Well, it's not more viruses, just the effect that a changing temperature is going to have. Yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff that the increasing global temperature has. Leon says, they say you have to drink lots of water since that'll wash the virus into your stomach, where it's rendered harmless due to the stomach acid. I haven't heard that either. I think it's always a good idea to drink lots of water anyway, though. Stay hydrated, so that's good. Eat lots of fruits. I think that's really good too. You get a lot of hydration from there. I hear dogs can have it. What should dog walkers do? I don't know. I actually heard that people were like killing pets and stuff, and in I think China and elsewhere, because they were afraid that the dogs and cats and stuff were carriers. But I think that's a misconception from what I've read anyway. I don't think that they were getting it. Ray says become catwalkers. That's a good idea. The next pandemic will come from dogs. Propylene glycol is a natural breakdown product of carbohydrates in our body. Spanish flu got much worse on the second and third runs. Well, yeah, and I think the impact in total numbers was like horrendous for Spanish flu. I mean, I don't remember the exact total like global deaths, but it was huge. I mean, it was like really, really bad. Dana says we haven't found out how long immunity lasts. I wonder how many are immune. I haven't been ill in 2 years since being vegan. Nice, Nikki. That's pretty good. I definitely feel like I get sick less often than before going vegan, but I still get sick every once in a while. And I wasn't really sick all that often even before I was vegan, so I would say that it's maybe a negligible difference for me. Maybe slight benefit, but a lot of people do say that that they have gotten healthier and less likely to get sick after going vegan. So, for instance, we know that immunity to influenza can last for up to 3 years. But again, the flu virus also mutates, so you could get a new strain, right? And then you wouldn't be immune to that because it's a new strain, and then you could get that. Race, I wonder how many are fully lifetime immune. I don't know. I think like nobody's immune to viruses until you've had a chance to take that virus and build up an immunity to it. It's just that some people probably get infected, don't show any symptoms, then become immune because your body just kind of deals with it without getting any bad symptoms. So you wouldn't notice. I think that's kind of how exposure to viruses works usually. But the virus is still in your body. And then if your immune system got compromised for some reason, it can kind of like come back up. Talking about how immunity does happen, but obviously some people are losing immunity. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, it's an RNA virus too. It mutates quickly. I don't know what that is. Is that a virus type, the RNA? I don't know. I'm not really that good with virus stuff. It never became more than a nuisance, though. Very scary. I had the flu too, but I wonder if it was corona. Who knows? Seems to be mostly about the airways, and I haven't looked up the official symptoms. Yeah, I think there are definitely people who have had very mild cases of it where they were just like sick for like a day and then they were fine. So it's certainly possible that somebody would have it and not really be all that bad off. Symptoms are the same as flu, but pneumonia. Immune system adapts to mutations. I think you still have immunity to the new strain. Okay. I mean, I'm not that good with virus stuff in general, so I'm not saying that I know that for sure, but I think that if there is a mutation, I thought that you would still be able to get the new version. Incognito, same here, not sick after going vegan, but I can feel some colds attacking me. Yeah, my wife definitely got rid of asthma since going vegan. That's awesome. That's really cool. My eyesight improved actually from going vegan. I had to get new glasses. My prescription went down. I did a video about that too a long time ago. Nikki says, I heard it was about the lungs and coughing with a fever. Hey Tim, Ethologos, welcome. Think this is bad? Just wait until Animal Ag gifts us with an inevitable antibiotic-resistant super pathogen. Yeah, well, it's already happening. As I said before, check out Earthling Ed's excellent video about the superbugs and stuff. There's already more people dying every year from that than this latest pandemic. And if that ever really gets going, man, we're really screwed. Daniel says, Koo cautions about taking the urbanization metaphor of biofilm growth too far, but underscores the useful lessons that can result from studying the system holistically and by looking at the events under both close-up and bird's-eye views. Yeah, like I say, check or put it in the comments, and I'll check out whatever studies you want to link. Terry, I reckon that the most likely way for COVID to enter the home is on the soles of shoes. Disinfect your shoes on the doorstep. Hadn't even thought of that. Luis, welcome. Live vegan indeed. If everybody did, we wouldn't be facing this latest infection. I know I've been studying immunology and virology heavily for the last 5 years. This is kind of like a field day for me. Oh wow. Okay, well then please do enlighten me. Send me some links. I'll do some reading. Terry, last month I had flu for 24 hours. It was just after the first cases emerged in my town. Have I had it? I mean, I don't know, maybe. Some people are lucky. Like I say, from what I've read, there have been people that they got really mild cases of it, and just like 1 or 2 days and they're fine. And people have had no symptoms even, and they've tested positive. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy. All right, guys, I'm going to get going. Hope everybody is doing good. Take care of yourselves. I'll try and post some more regular videos, going back to a more regular posting schedule. And I'll try to do live streams more often as well. I think a lot of people will probably have more time on their hands because you'll be home or working from home or whatever. And, yeah, please be safe. Try to help anybody out that you know might need help. And, yeah, see you guys soon. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.